All right. Good evening. I promise you I'm going to keep this really, really short. I just wanted to just talk really quick. This is to all of my women entrepreneurs. Okay. For all of you all who know me, I am the owner of Beauteous Extensions. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to, before I launched Beauteous Extensions, I bought hair from different hair companies. Sometimes I got good hair, sometimes I got bad hair, sometimes I was out of hundreds of dollars and it was nothing that I can do. There was nothing that I could do, right? But just consider it as a loss. So, I told myself one day I want to build an empire around hair extensions, and I wanted my hair extensions to be good hair. I wanted all of my customers to make sure that they were satisfied. I wanted them to feel beautiful, and that's what made me create Beauteous Extensions. What I did not know was the behind the scenes. And when I mean behind the scenes, I'm talking about websites, vendors, just business as a whole. So I just wanted to get this video out to all of my women, not even women, just if you're, new, starting a business, if you're kind of, don't have enough knowledge as to what comes behind it. That's why I wanted to do this video, just based off my personal experience as a business owner, okay? Just fast forward to today. I would say earlier this week, well, let me just say this first, I'm sorry. Before I launched the website, okay, all of my orders, they pretty much came simply from DMs. Sometimes I would get emails. Sometimes it would be word of mouth, and it was fine just doing it that way. My goal was just to make sure that I catered to all women's needs and make sure that I could provide and accommodate whatever women needed as far as hair extensions, and just when you get your hair done, you feel beautiful. So that was my ultimate goal, was to just make sure that I could definitely deliver that type of service. So I would say, well, first, I've been in business now for about a year and a half, and there's been some challenges, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, and there's been several times or days I just wanted to say, forget it. But when you put your mind, body, and soul into something, you just don't want to give up. So I'm sorry, I just have to collect my thoughts. Sorry about that. So once I started, doing orders, I started getting messages from, just various people asking, hey, do you offer payment plans? And I'm like, I started seeing like payment plans from different sites. There's Klarna, there's Sezzle, there's Zip, QuadPay, Afterpay. There's so many of them. Shopify. There's so many different, installment or, companies like that, because this day and time, people just don't have $400 or $500. Sometimes it's lower than that to just pay in, one payment. So the installment plan, I don't know if, for those of you who don't know how that works, the installment plan simply allows you to, one, you still get the product, whatever you ordered. You get the product, you do in the company, whether you go through Klarna or Sezzle, they'll set up a payment plan, okay? The merchant, which would be myself or, whoever you're buying the merchandise from, we would still get paid upfront, okay? The installment agreement is solely between you and the merchant, okay? So I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this. This seems like it will bring in more traffic, because a lot of women, they just didn't have $300 and $400 to pay at once, okay? So I was like, what? I talked to my husband. Y'all have to excuse my child in the background. I talked to my husband about it. I said, this may be a game changer. If this is how, women need to pay, hey, I'm all for it. So the first thing was I had to create a website. After doing my research, if any of you all know me, I am very big on research and just knowing pretty much what I'm about to get myself into, because again, there's so many scammers and just unhonest people that's just not honest in this world. That's just the world we live in, and you have to just always be prepared and always just make sure that you're doing your research. And one thing about me, I am notorious for that. So once I did my research, I didn't, let me just say this first. Oh, excuse me, Connor, I'm doing a video. Sorry guys. One thing, little did I know that, let me just say this, I knew nothing about websites. I didn't even know where to start, okay? I knew that once I started doing my research, I saw that, hey, create your website here, do this, $99, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay, it was so overwhelming because I still did not understand I still didn't understand it. I just did not. And my husband is a tech guy. He tried to, kind of educate me on, the behind the scenes of a website. And, I learned a little bit and I was like, okay, so let's go ahead and take Beyond Beauteous to the next level. Let me go ahead and, launch a website, offer the payment installment plans, and let's go ahead and do it. After doing my research, I went through Fiverr, okay? This, to my understanding, Fiverr is a company where they have different contractors that does different type of work. You may have some level contractors on there that's pretty much has an expertise. Their expertise may be designing websites. Their expertise may be marketing, social media marketing, and the list goes on. So I found the guy, and once again, let me just say, this is new to me, so I'm still trying to get knowledgeable of Fiverr and what all it does. And like I told you, I am notorious for doing my research. After my research, I felt they would be the most, I just felt like that's the route I wanted to go. So everything you do with Fiverr, you have to do it via chat. Due to the fact that they're like different time zones, they're like, some of them are in Pakistan. Well, let me just say the contractor who I worked with, he was in Pakistan. So I'm not going to put any names out there because I am not for bashing anyone. I just want, any type of entrepreneurs. I just wanted you all to kind of know my experience and what I went through. Again, I'm not putting out any names of whoever the contractor is or was, because I don't do that. So anyway, I went through the formality of having the website set up. Let me just say, it was a lot of work. And again, it was so overwhelming. I didn't know, there were some things that I just didn't know anything about. Like, when I was, piecing together, what I wanted the website to entail. I was asked by the contractor, hey, do you want it to do this? Do you want it to do that? And I'm like, you're the developer. How do I know this? I don't know, So long story short, the website was created. For those who don't know, whenever you do a website, there's hosting. I knew nothing about that. There's a domain. I know what a domain is, but just the part with keeping your website together and keeping it going, I used to wonder, like, who operates the website? How does your website flow? So my website was basically in the hands of this representative from Fiverr. So, there were times when I would run a sale and my website would crash from all of the traffic. And I remember, and as a business owner, when you're trying to, create a brand, and it's kind of just not a good look for your business if you're, having a sale. And I would get so many messages, hey, people I don't even know, mind you, hey, I'm trying to place an order. The order, it doesn't work. The website is going slow, or it's saying something about a certificate. And it was so overwhelming that I'm like, okay, being that the developers were on different time zones, if it's like 8 and 9 o'clock here, it's like, or if it's morning time here, it's like 2 and 3 a.m. there, where they're fast asleep. So there were customers I lost because these customers could not, place their orders. And let me just say, the majority of my customers, they pay in 4 installments. And hey, I'm okay with that. Because hey, listen, at the end of the day, you're still entrusting in me to provide you with to accommodate your hair needs. And I'm okay with that. I don't care how you pay for it. It's just an honor that you all pick me to order your hair from, because there's so many other companies that you can go to. So again, I'm very new to this, lack of knowledge. And finally, when the contractor reached out to me, I was told, well, it's not that the website is slow, blah blah blah, you need to upgrade your website. Again, I don't have any knowledge. So I'm like, okay, well, let me upgrade the website, right? So my thing is, okay, I'm going to upgrade the website, because my thing is, when customers go to my site, I want them to be able to navigate. I want them to be able to, I wanted it to be user friendly, okay? I didn't want any problems, and that's what my ultimate goal was. I paid the money. I'm not going to disclose the amount that was paid, okay? But let me just say, I paid, okay? It was hundreds of dollars. I paid to have my website upgraded, okay? So I'm like, okay, issue resolved. Everything is going to be okay. I'm not going to have any problems with none of my customers placing any orders. I don't know what this is on my shirt. I'm sorry. So I'm like, okay, problem solved. I ran a sale. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 months later. Ran a sale. The exact same thing happened, right? Someone messaged me. I don't know if the platform was Facebook or Instagram, but someone messaged me. Hey, I'm trying to place an order. I'm having a problem placing my order. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Of course, I didn't say that to my customer, but I'm like, really? So I go on the website, and it was just, when you go on a website or something, and it was just buffering. Like, it was just buffering. And I'm like, this is, I paid hundreds of dollars so this would not happen. So once again, it was kind of like deja vu, okay? I went through the same thing that I did before I paid the hundreds of dollars to have my website upgraded to where that, my customers would be able to shop without any problems, okay? And when I reached out to the guy, he was so rude. It was kind of like he was, I don't know, entitled. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, you're working for me, okay? At this time, I'm a consumer, meaning that there's so many different contractors on Fiverr, but I decided to go through you. And this is the type of, this is how you're talking to me. And I try to, remain, I try to make sure that, I still remain classy and because, I don't want to, anyway, I don't want to disrespect anyone's company, anyone's hustle. I get it, okay? But what I did not approve of was the way I was talked to. So this guy and I, after going back and forth, and mind you, when you're going back and forth, sometimes chats or text messages, they can be taken out of content. So it was just, it was really bad, okay? So I ended up going to a different developer, and again, I'm not saying any names. I went to a different developer. This person was worse than the first person, and mind you, I'm paying money again, and I'm telling this new developer, hey, I need my site to do this. I needed to do this. I needed to do this. Let me just say that I was out of so much money, okay? You know, and again, I'm just a small business owner trying to build an empire that will accommodate the needs of beautiful women. That's my ultimate goal, nothing else. I don't want to, get anyone in trouble, because hey, when you're a business owner, all you want to do is just make sure that you're running, or that you can somehow establish a reputable business or company, right? And again, that was my ultimate goal. So I'm going to fast forward. That was an entire year of that, okay? You all don't know the behind the scenes, so I'm just telling you, before, if you're operating without a website, and if you are deciding to, add a website to your business, do your research. I would try to go with someone local, where that you're on the same time zone. If you have any type of questions or whatever, there's no type of, you have to wait 24 hours, or there's no type of language barriers or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward today, or let me just rephrase, this week. So this time I wasn't running a sale. Thankfully, I get orders, frequently, and I give God all the glory. I am so grateful for, the support that I get from my customers. You all are amazing, and there would not be a Beyond Beauteous without my customers. So I got a message, guys. Let me tell you about my customers. They will message me in a heartbeat, and hey, I'm okay with that. And one thing about me is that my goal is I want to make it right by any means necessary. If you message me, if I hear my phone go off, my a notification, I don't care. It's been times my husband is like, Octavia, it's 2 a.m. Why are you responding to a customer? And my answer is because that's my brand. If my customer needs assistance, I'm going to do it, okay? And that's why I work alone, okay? Because I know if someone is going to deliver that type of experience, it's going to have to be myself, because I want every customer experience to be organic, and I want it to all be just an awesome experience. So everyone is not going to do that. So if you want it done right, or I have to do it on my own. So I go to my message, and she didn't give me this customer did not give me the exact message. She just told me, hey, and she didn't even know my name. She just said, hi, I'm trying to place an order, but I can't get on the site. Let me just say, this has been something that I've been going through for the entire year, with the site crashing, or the site doing this, or it's another one, something about make sure this site is secure. It's just been so much, okay? So I go to my site. It says your account has been suspended. How does that look? Okay? New business owner, I'm trying to create an empire. How does that look? I know for me, as a consumer, on so many levels, when I go on the website, and if I get any type of message stating that it's not secure, I'm clicking off of that, because the first thing that goes through my mind is that someone is going to compromise my account information. Nope. And I completely click off of it, right? My stomach dropped, okay? I didn't know what that meant. I mean, I just didn't know. And when I tell you that, keep in mind, this was about 11 o'clock at night, okay? I'm wigging out. When I tell you that I was literally wigging out, I was wigging out. Because I could not get in contact with my developer. I couldn't get in contact with him. And finally, I reached out to Fiverr support, and they told me, your hosting has to be renewed as well as your domain. Okay. It all makes sense, because I'm thinking, okay, I launched my website about a year ago. Where was the notification that my website, domain, etc. had to be renewed? I didn't get any type of notification. None. No notification whatsoever. Guys, it has just been, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can, because I don't want no one to go through what I've gone through. The only thing that I could do is, somehow bring awareness and let other entrepreneurs know my experience, so you too don't have to go through the exact same thing, because we all have to be there for one another. Okay. Finally, once I was told that, I mean, just imagine, have you all ever had something going on with you, and it's kind of like there's nothing you can do at that moment, but you react because you're human, right? And my thing is that, okay, I'm one, losing money. 2, my account is saying suspended. 3, I can't get it resolved at this moment. I was wigging out. I was wigging out, okay? Finally, 2 hours later, when I tell you I could not sleep, I literally could not sleep, okay? So the developer, and again, that's what I'm going to reference him as, is the developer, because I'm not putting any names out. The developer messaged me and said, you have to renew your hosting. I'm like, okay, well, let's renew it. What do I have to do? I need my site active. I can't have my site down. I would have felt a little better if it was just down due to the traffic, but to say it's suspended, talk about just, it was terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get it activated? I just need it activated. Whatever I have to do. He told me, now let me just mind you, he sensed the desperation, and he sensed my panic, okay? His thought was, okay, this woman, by any means necessary, she's gonna do whatever she has to do to get this website going. So when I told him, I said, hey, by any means, what do I have to do? What do I have to pay? How do I renew it? What do I have to do? He told me, oh yeah, I can get you right back on. $420. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when it comes to spending money, okay, I need to know where my money is going. And I need some type of itemized ledger of how you're coming up with this total, okay? So me, like I told you all at the beginning of this video, and I'm sorry, I'm at 24 minutes now. I just want you all to just know. Finally, you know me, I'm a researcher. And one thing about me, I believe in receipts. Receipts meaning that I always keep receipts, whether it's a text message or something just to validate what was discussed. Kind of like my own personal visual contract, okay? I went back to the receipts. The entire thread of when Beyond Beauteous Extensions website was created, I went back. I'm like, how is it $420 today? But when I went back a year ago, I didn't pay $420. So he took advantage of my lack of knowledge about hosting and domain information, and he saw dollar signs. And again, like I said, it was in panic and desperation. So he took that energy and he tried to make $1 out of it, okay? And again, I try to maintain my dignity with class, where that I'm not, being that person to, use profane language or go off for anyone. I don't even operate that way, because I believe in resolution and I believe in compromise. I believe in, hey, what do we have to do to make this work? I don't know if you all know this, but Beyond Beauteous is a business I run, but I also work a full-time job. I'm a manager one of the managers at a full-time job. And so I know all about trying to make it work or accommodating and all of that. So once I said that, he said, I think there was a bit of shock, because once I said that, he said, well, the total I gave you before was a discounted amount. I'm like, discounted for what? Why was it a discount? Was it a discount because it was Friday? Was it a discount because I was new? I need an itemized ledger as to why it was discounted, because a year ago, like I said, on my receipt, there wasn't a discount, okay? Once I did that, he still insisted on, well, ma'am, this is what you're gonna have to do. So at that moment, I kind of felt handicapped, like, okay, my website is in his hands. He has control of making my website active. And that alone almost made me get out of character. I do not get out of character. And that alone almost did it for me. So I had to pray, and my husband was there, and I'm like, babe, this can't be right. This can't be. He said, heck no. There's no way that it costs that much. So I did send out a message on all of my social media platforms, and I just said, hey, the website is down as I search for new hosting or whatever, and that was the truth. So the entire day it was down. I ended up calling a hosting company who somehow the Fiverr support team was able to give me a little bit of information behind the scenes of my hosting information. And I was definitely grateful for that. Once I called the hosting company, I was told that $420, no. To host with us, it's $107 annually, and the domain is $20. So I'm looking, okay, 127 versus 420, right? So then I went back on the chat, and I'm like, so tell me again, where are you getting $420? I need to know, if you want me to pay this, I need to know why I'm paying this and where my money is going, and why am I giving this money to you. So he started giving me the same, well, it was a discount and blah, blah, blah. Then I hit him with, well, that's odd. So I took a screenshot of, this company's hosting information. And I said, well, that's odd because after speaking with XYZ, this is what they cost. And this is the same company who's been hosting Beyond Beauteous Extensions. And this company is the company that's been paying that, for which I pay for my domain. For those of you who don't know, I just found this out. The domain is your www.beyondbeauteous.com. Okay? That's the domain. When I said that, and when I threw out a reputable company and a reputable name, that spoke volume. When I tell you that the entire conversation changed with him, it was like I was talking to a different developer, right? So he was like, I tell you what, ma'am, this is what he said. I tell you what, ma'am, let's do this. I'll go ahead and turn your site. I will get your site back live again. But let's just do this. I wanna make this right. And I kept going back to, well, hold on. Before we make this right, I still need to know, why did you tell me $420? He kept deflecting from that question. Don't deflect. I need an answer, because if you want my business, I need an answer. So once he kept deflecting, and I didn't go into any other conversations until I knew, why did he want $420? Now, if I would have paid that $420, I was just gagged, right? And once I did that, and I kept going back, he said, your site is live. Just leave it alone. We're not going to do anything else about it. Your site is live. You have hosting for 1 year. But God, right? Favor. And all of this was because now I could have changed characters. I could have, went off using profanity. I could have did all of that. But with me maintaining dignity and class, all I did was use my resources from my iPad, and I just did my research. Research is the key. Research is like, hey, that's better, that's worse than profanity, because these are facts, and you can't go against any facts, okay? And once I start putting out there facts on what it costs and what this is, at that time, he was like, okay, this woman knows what she's talking about. And two, I have to make this woman's website live because she's on to me now, okay? So I just want all of you entrepreneurs to know, make sure business is, when you're running a business, it is a lot, okay? It is so much behind the scenes that goes on, that if you're uneducated like myself, you will get got. And that's exactly what could have happened. And I mean, just always just make sure that whenever something happens, don't go off on someone. Just do your research. Do your research. Once you have your research, put out those receipts, and there you have it. Now, I will say this. Beyond Beauteous Extensions is live, right? However, I am in the process of transferring my website, backing it up. So if this happens again, my entire website is copied, okay? And I have domain, I have administrator credentials, so that if there's any type of changes that I need to make, myself, Octavia, owner of Beyond Beauteous Extensions, I have control of that. I don't have anyone controlling that's in Pakistan or whatever the case may be. So I wanted to do this video to just let you all know to do your research, okay? So my website has been backed up. It's been copied. I'm in the middle of where it's been transferred. So now I'm trying to find another hosting company. I have one in mind, and I already have the domain. So it should be much faster. Also, within sometime this year, because I will say this, the entire format or layout of Beyond Beauteous Extensions, it was created by this specific developer. Now, I'm still using the layout, but that is another thing too that I am in process of doing. I'm going to create, God willing, I'm going to have the Lord just order my steps, but I am in the process of doing a complete redesign of the website, because again, I don't know what else. I mean, let me just say this. A year ago, I was uneducated. So I'm learning, okay? I'm learning. So if you do have a website, and if you are going through, I will say the company Fiverr, make sure that your website is that someone backs up your website, or you get a copy of it, because if your website is in the hands of someone else, and if something happens between you and that person's business relationship, then your website is gone. They have control of that. No one should have that type of control over you, a company, none of that, okay? No one. So that's all I have. Again, I just wanted to get this out here so you all would know. Just make sure you do your research, and before you implement anything, make sure you do your research. Make sure you ask your questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be uneducated. It doesn't make you less than a business owner, because when you're a business owner, this is stuff that you have to learn. It doesn't make you less than a business owner. Let me say that. And I'm not embarrassed or, afraid to say I was uneducated on this a year ago, and still uneducated, but catch me about one more year. I'm gonna be up there. So once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for all of your support. Beyond Beauteous is Beyond Beauteous because of you, okay? Again, like I always say, there's so many, the hair business is so competitive, and I am so grateful that all of you all still entrust in me to accommodate your hair needs, okay? So again, thank you so much, and there is more to come from Beyond Beauteous Extensions. You all have a great evening.